We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Before I get involved in anything nowadays, I have to straighten out my own position. I don't believe in any form of racism. I don't believe in any form of discrimination or segregation.
Oh, it's about to go down.
In any form whatsoever.
Oh, it's about to go down.
In any form whatsoever.
WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. Yes, sir. News from the Service Interest, the radio show. My name is Mario. On today's program, to talk about a very, very, very awesome movement that is about to happen. My brother Kwesi Garreau. Y'all know Kwesi. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Come on now. You ain't that old. You know. Kwesi's going to come on and talk about CeaseFire. Memorial Day weekend. It's notoriously the worst weekend in Chicago for crime and murder and all those things. And we're about to try to put a stop to that sooner than Memorial Day. We also have the honor and the privilege of having one of the elders, one of the great artists of our time, Robert Earl Paige, is on the show. He's going to be talking about his new exhibit at the Hyde Park Art Center. And I'm going to talk to him about all kinds of stuff. It's going to be fun. Glad you're here. Right now, though, I want you to take a listen to Brother Malcolm X.
The white man, your friend, took your language away from you. During slavery, the only language you know is his language, your friend's language. The white man, your friend, took your language away from you. During slavery, the only language you know is his language, your friend's language. So you call for the same God he calls for. When he's putting a rope around your neck, you call for God, he calls for God. And you wonder why the one you call on never answers you.
You saw it just a few moments ago, about 45 seconds after liftoff, a huge fireball in the sky.
All right, y'all, listen, it's 2 minutes after 2 o'clock. When we come back, we will have Kwesi Garreau on to talk about CeaseFire. Listen to me. Listen to me. We need y'all on board for this effort that is about to take place. Kwesi's going to break it all down. I don't know when the last time Kwesi was on Chicago radio. We get a chance to talk a little bit about that and the stuff that Kwesi used to do on WGCI. We're going to have fun today. I'm Robert Earl Paige at the bottom of the hour, and I'm very, very excited about today's show, and I hope you are too. Listen to me. Tell your people. This is WLPNLP Chicago, 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. Here's Zoe and Tall Black Guy featuring Omar. That Omar, yeah. News from the Service Entrance radio show.
That you light inside of me, baby. One desire that you make it seem so easy. Love is what we do real good in it, baby. Come over here, don't have no fear. Love the way you make me feel so good, baby. Can't control myself. Can't control myself. I love the way. I love the way you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the way. Love the way. Yeah, yeah. I love the way. I love the way you move me. I love the way. just to roll with it, baby. You set out your purpose for just one night. Dance some more, more. I shouldn't have to say, you should feel your way.
From the album Abstractions. That's So and Tall Black Guy. My guys. Along with my other guy, Oh My Life Fook. 105.5 FM, WLPNLP Chicago. It's Lumpin' Radio. This is news from the service entrance, the radio show. It's 7 minutes after the hour on the 18th of April. I'm glad that you are here today to witness what is going down. If you are watching us on Lumpin.tv, you know that man's face. You recognize that brother. That's Kwesi Garreau. If you don't know who Kwesi is by the last name, I invite you to remember these words: live, love, laugh, and learn. That's how he ended all his poetry joints on WGCI back in the day. It is an honor and a pleasure to welcome my man Kwesi to News from the Service Entrance Radio Show. What up, Kwesi? What's up, Kwesi? I don't even know if Kwesi can hear me. Oh, Lord. That's the greatest intro ever. There he is. What's up, Kwesi? How you doing, brother?
Peace, brother Mario. How you doing?
I'm good. You missed my whole great intro that I did.
I didn't hear it. Yeah, you had your mic off.
I can do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, this brother was a fixture on Chicago radio with Rick Party on WGCI for many years, and he would end his poem because he did the poetry thing. Actually, that's how I ended up doing poetry on the radio. It's because of Kwesi. And he would end it with live, love, laugh, and learn. And who knew back then those words would ring so true to us today in terms of how we get down. And not just me and Kwesi, but you name it, that person, we are all on the same vibration. And it's an honor to have Kwesi Garreau on the show today to talk about this great initiative that he is about to. I mean, and it's a handful. It's called CeaseFire. It's geared around what we know as probably the worst weekend to be in Chicago, Memorial Day weekend. But we're changing that this year. We're not doing that anymore. And Kwesi is here to talk about that. And we'll reminisce a little bit about the GCI days and the Moo and Oink Thursdays. I'm sorry, Moo and Oink Fridays. How you been, man?
I've been brilliantly blessed, Mario. How about you?
Everything is good. So we're talking about CeaseFire, and if you guys have watched my Instagram, I've popped it up a couple of times prematurely, but I wanted to make sure that at least you had a quick look at what it was. And it's literally on May 1st. I'll let you tell what the plan is. And please do that. Tell what the plan is.
So as you know, I've been a pioneer in a literary space in Chicago for years, decades, introducing poetry to mainstream Chicago. In 2006, I moved from Chicago to Los Angeles to pursue a dream in producing TV and film content. Where living in Hollywood the past 17 years, I would see the horrific news regarding the gun violence in Chicago, specifically during Memorial Weekend. And I said, I had the opportunity. I moved back to Chicago last year because I was a nominee for Chicago's inaugural poet laureate position. Though I wasn't disappointed, I didn't let that defer my literary aspiration and taking me back off of my path regarding my passion for poetry. And so I said, if I'm gonna be in Chicago this year, I refuse to let another Memorial holiday weekend become the local, national, and global narrative that it's the most violent weekend in Chicago. So I said, I've been in this space for over 30 years. Unfortunately, I have 50 years of experience in dealing with gun violence, going back to when my uncle Levi was killed in 1974 on the corner of 82nd and Emerald, to my sister due to domestic violence, shooting and killing my nephew's father, and she had to sit for 2.5 years for manslaughter, to my brother being killed in January of 92, my cousin 2 years after that, Adian Howard. And at that particular time, I learned Jawan Howard was my cousin. But I was so traumatized from my brother's murder that I didn't attend my cousin's murder because it was literally January 11th, 1994. And I was just too traumatized to attend. And then moving ahead, my nephew shot twice, 2010, 8 times survived. 2013, once survived. He knew the shooters. He didn't snitch. And so he had to sit for a couple of years. And of course, if you don't snitch, you know who shot you. You go back on the block, you see the shooter.
Right.
So I told my nephew, you have to get past that. You have to forgive them, because if you sprayed him, then we lose you and your children lose their father, and then their family are going through what we're going through. So when he was back on the block in Peoria, he saw both shooters. They respected him. You know what we do as Black men on the block to show each other that we respect? We give each other that eye conversation or that head nod, like, yo, I appreciate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's been left at that. 2 years ago, my nephew, 12 years of age, my nephew Quentin, who was shot twice, my nephew Quentin Jr., he was robbed at gunpoint for $20 and bubble gum and chips and things. I talked to him. I was in Hollywood at the time this happened. He was 12. I'm actually going to his 8th grade graduation in May.
Nice.
He wanted to become a shooter. I was like, nephew, I know you're angry. I know it's traumatizing. And I know you're enraged. And I understand the pain and hurt that you feel. But it's not in your best interest to go get a gun to go retaliate against them. So he calmed down. His mother got him more involved in extracurricular activity after school, and he's graduating now. And so I'm not asking Chicago or specifically Black men to do anything that I haven't done myself in my own family, and teaching peace, love, and forgiveness. Like I had to teach my nephew, who mother shot his father. I had to teach him forgiveness regarding forgiving his dad posthumously, and understand his dad was a cool dude, but his dad at 14, 15, 16 years of age was dealing with trauma as his father saw his father beat his mother. So he thinking as a teenager, this is how I need to handle.
This is how it goes. Yeah.
Exactly. And so my sister, she was on the block. She's a street organization. She was a GD. So at the time, her boyfriend gave her a gun for something else that happened to her and her friend to protect herself. And she just so happened to have the gun on that day. So in this ceasefire, I'm not asking any Chicagoan, any Black male, young or old, to do anything that I haven't already done in my life, because this isn't about, a moment. This is about a movement. This is a lifestyle that I've exuded since I was a kid, learning the principle of forgiveness and Bible study or Sunday school. And so I'm just asking each one of us to be accountable for each other, and to say, because we know, the kids know on the block who got beef with who.
Right.
We could minimize and mitigate that by saying, listen, bro, let's participate in this right now. Let's work this out. Let's have a conversation. Or let's put these young brothers who have these social media beef or street beef, let's get them some organized beef. Let's put them in the ring. They want to make money. Yo, Crusher Club on the south side, Inglewood. Yo, we can set up Friday night fight nights in the city of Chicago. You got a beef with somebody, you put your cash app, your friends bet on you, and your opponent friend bet on them. And whoever get the most money, you cash out.
Right.
But you got to go through 2 weeks of proper training to fight your opponent before you fight him, he or she. Because at Crusher Club, they're going to teach you conflict resolution. They're going to give you life skills and things of that nature. And then you may love a sport.
And Crusher Club is a dope organization, man. They do a lot of really good work in this city, and I don't think a lot of people understand just how dope they are. I do want to ask you, you've got the idea of CeaseFire. It revolves around May Day, May 1st. Talk a little bit about
No, we're going to specifically focus on Memorial Weekend, Mario, May 24th to May 28th At May 24th at 1:11 a.m. and 1:11 p.m., we're going to post the ceasefire image through that whole weekend. And that's going to be our targeted dates because those are the dates historically are the most violent in the city of Chicago. Right now, what I'm seeking to do is just get the ceasefire social media campaign initiative out via the word that people could start preparing mentally and physically and spiritually for this movement that I'm seeking to create. This ceasefire, because right now, Chicago is the butt of national and international jokes. I don't know if you saw Saturday Night Live a couple of weeks ago where Michael Cho basically said, yo, the mayor is calling a ceasefire in Gaza. Gaza is causing a ceasefire in Chicago.
Right.
You know, and it's just like, it just behooved me that I'm going to sit around and let this continue to take place. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's Chicago versus the world. And we're going to show the world that, yeah, we have some, you know, trauma, anger, rage, hate, just like most cities do. But we're going to find a way to creatively curtail that anger, that hate, and that rage. And during Memorial Weekend, I'm going to host the Peace, Love, Forgiveness, Poetry, and Comedy on the Block or in the Park on those 4 days. May 24th will be at Ogden Park from 3 to 6 p.m. May 25th, I'm in partnership or having a conversation now with Bradley Williams at Build Chicago. May 26th, we'll be at DuSable Museum, bringing both the West Side and the South Side artists together, the museum. And then the goal on Monday, Memorial Day, is to be at Maggie Daley Park from 12 to 3 or 1 to 4. And these particular locations I'm choosing because they're special to me. I grew up in Inglewood. Austin, West Side have always been, you know, good to me. Speaking at schools like Oral High School, Westinghouse, Marshall, Whitney Young, back in the day, having my writing program. That Little Real, the comedian Little Real was in my writing program, MTVP, at the James Jordan Boys and Girls Club. I was the adult in his life that recognized his it factor as a comedian. And he would come in my writing sessions and always be creatively disruptive. And I was like, Laurel, if you're doing this in my writing sessions, you're doing this in class too. He's like, yes, Mr. Crazy, I am. I said, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do your stand-up. If you're funny, your peers are going to laugh. If you're not, they're going to tell you to go back to the lab. And I said, ask one of your teachers to give you 2 to 3 minutes once a week that you're not the class clown, but you become the class comedian. One of his teachers gave him that platform. He became more attentive and more engaged in school. I remember one time I came back, he was like, Mr. Quasey, thank you for that. I'm doing comedy now. He was doing stand-up. He was at that open mic night. I saw him. And so I'm not saying I wrote one joke for Little Real, but I was the adult in his life that recognized that he had the it factor, that he was talented. And look where he is now. Yeah. One of Chicago's very own and one of the top or A-list celebs in Hollywood. Heck, D-Ray, the comedian. D-Ray hosted my book release party back January 11, 1997. So I'm doing poetry and comedy because before poetry hit in Chicago, there was not a lot of poetry spots. So I would always perform at the comedy spots, comedy click, all jokes aside, or riddles, or what have you. Poetry in Chicago kind of took off after Love Jones. You know, hey, I think Reggie Gibson is in that, Malik Youssef. So yeah, that's when the vibe for spoken word took off. So the initiative, ceasefire campaign, social media campaign starts now, that we can start getting the word out about the ceasefire during Memorial Weekend, May 24th to May 28th. And I believe we could do it.
I do too.
And I'm not some politician looking for somebody's vote. I'm a concerned Chicagoan, a poet that's passionate about my city, who's lost my younger brother to gun violence. And I'm just picking up the mantle or the baton with my little brother, Lamont, who forfeited his life to save a friend on January 11, 1992. I'm just sacrificing mine to help save Chicago and the way in which that God has led me to do so. As you stated, it is a big undertaking, but nonetheless, I believe God has blessed me to be the man for the moment, for the movement.
Well, let's get it done. When we talk about this, everybody, if you see it, it says CeaseFire. It's red, black, and white. It is a box. It says CeaseFire. If you see it on my page, please take it and put it on your page. Start posting that now so folks can really get the idea of what is this, why is this, how can I be down? Look, the effort that it's going to take to get people to understand how important it is that we stay alive, not just on that Memorial Day weekend, but past that weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of these beefs are solvable. They just need to have the opportunity to come and talk about it, because if you get them to have a conversation about why they're upset, chances are they can't tell you why.
They can't tell you why.
They can never tell you why. They've
No
never
doubt.
been able to tell you why. So we're gonna change the narrative and the vibration in Chicago, and this is one of the ways we're going to do it. And it's going to kick off with this. And before I cut you loose, Kwesi, folks can get the CeaseFire logo from your Instagram.
My Instagram is Kwesi, Kweisi, the brand. Kweisi, the brand. And also Chicago, I met with several politicians from high as the mayor's office to the commissioner's office. I'm tired of playing political ping pong. I am funding this myself through the sale of my book, Innocent Rage.
I remember that book.
Innocent Rage. This business model was taken from the late Nipsey Hussle. He said, I only need 1,000 people to support my work at $100 when he released his album. So I'm seeking to have 2,000 people support my work. But at this particular cost, I need 300 Chicagoans to purchase my book at $100. This is how I'm going to fund the social media digital campaign to get the word out to you, and also pay for permits, artists, celebs that are from Chicago to come back. They might lend their talent, but they're still going to need a flight and a hotel when I fly them in. So if 300 people in Chicago, go to my Instagram for all the information. Kwesi the brand. Kwesi the brand. You can cash at me, $Kwesi Gaharo, and help us change the narrative for Chicago. I love my city. This is why I'm doing it. I refuse to let another family go through the tumultuous pain and hurt that my family has been through. And they think because it's been 32 years, you're over it. You never heal from the trauma. You heal from the trauma, and time helps you to process it, but it still hurts as though it happened yesterday.
Kwesi, I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
The brand. Kwesi the brand. Kweisi the brand. Kweisi the brand. Follow my journey and support the cause, the peace, love, forgiveness, poetry, and comedy in the park during Memorial Weekend. CeaseFire, mitigate, stop, prevent gun violence in our city. It's Chicago versus the world.
Kwesi, thank you for being on the show, brother. We will talk soon. And yes, that is going up on the page again today.
Peace and love.
Yes, sir. Peace. Kwesi, man, listen, this is what we're doing. This is what we are doing. I am very, very glad that he reached out and got a chance to introduce this on our show. We're going to play some music. We come back. We're going to have an opportunity to talk to Robert Earl Paige. And there's a lot of meat on that bone, too, y'all. So this is going to be a good one today. I'm glad that you all are here. Because why would you be somewhere else? We're not doing that. It is, that's what we're doing. WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. It's news from the service entrance, the radio show. Robert Earl Paige in a few. WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. It's news from the service entrance. Ooh, Kurt Elling came in. It's news from the service entrance, the radio show. My name is Mario. Thank you all so much for being with us today. We're going to forego our normal break that we would take around this time to have an opportunity to talk with an amazing dude who is always super sharp. I am upset that I did not dress better, Mr. Paige. My bad. I'm sorry. I will do better next time. Ladies and gentlemen, phenomenal artist in every way possible. And his accolades are long. It's kind of ridiculous just how amazing he is. He has an exhibit going on right now at the Hyde Park Art Center in Hyde Park. It's Robert Earl Paige on News from the Service Entrance. Good afternoon, Mr. Paige. How are you?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see your face again.
Nice to be with you, my friend. Nice to be with you.
Yes, sir. I had the honor of meeting you and seeing your exhibit.
Oh, I bet. I got that.
At the Hyde Park Art Center a couple of weeks ago. And I'd like to start by asking you, for years, the Chicago Black Arts Movement has had so many great artists in it. And it had to have a start from somewhere. How did all of that begin in our city, that movement, the Black Arts Movement that you are a part of?
How was the Black Arts Movement?
Yeah, how did all of that come together?
Oh, I don't know if it's a coming together. The particular time everyone is focusing on is the 60s and 70s. And at that particular time, Chicago on the South Side was just on fire in terms of culturally. You know, you had the AACM operating, you had Phil Coran, the Afro Art Theater, you had Obasi, and Afro-Cobra came out of it as well. So the emphasis has been on the Black Arts Movement, but the Black Arts Movement is still going on because I'm still on the planet.
Yes, sir. Yes, you are. You worked for Chess Records at one time.
Yeah, that was a short trip. Michael Chess and I were hanging out during that period of time. It was in the 60s, around 65, 66 or so. And so there was a vacancy as art director at Chess, and so he pulled me in. I didn't know what I was doing, so that's why I didn't last very long. But I did get an opportunity to do the Ramsey Lewis album.
Yeah, and one of my favorite songs is on that album, Uhuru. And every time now that I think about you, I think about that song because I saw the album. No,
what tune was that?
Uhuru. It's Maurice White is playing kalimba on it, and I think he's playing drums because I think he was part of the trio at that time.
Okay.
But that's my jam. I love that song. And after meeting you that day and seeing the work in this exhibit, let's talk a little bit about that exhibit at the Hyde Park Art Center. You have an amazing hold on color and the nature of why those colors are important talk to me about your process, and especially in putting this exhibit together at the Hyde Park Arts Center.
Well, uh, practice was actually a new word for me. It came about a couple of years ago. Someone wanted me to fill out an application. They said your practice, and I said, my practice is my practice, and I practice all the time, which means that I'm forever in the process of developing.
Mm-hmm.
And creativity is just part of it, part of who I am. Doesn't make any difference whether it's my artwork or for my attire, or the way I park my car. All of it has to do with this kind of innate ability to try to achieve some sort of aesthetic value.
Yeah. The United Colors of Robert Earl Page is happening now at the Hyde Park Arts Center. There are pieces in his exhibit that will absolutely grab you. They are stunning on sight. There's also a video that is featured where you get to hear from the artist. And right next to that video is footage of the Southside Jazz Festival that was happening at what was then called the Country Club before they changed the name to the name I won't ever call it because it's always going to be the Country Club to me, having been a South Shore resident. That was a very interesting time in 1976, 77. You had an art gallery on 71st, right?
Right.
How did the community react to having you in their neighborhood with your gallery and the things that you were doing there?
Well, at that particular point, I was living in South Shore, and my dear colleague and longtime friend, Dr. Carol Adams, came upon an application for a grant that the National Endowment of the Arts was offering. A City Spirits, I think the name of it was.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we said, sounds like something we ought to be interested in doing. And I had a small atelier on 71st Street, right off of Jeffrey.
Right.
And so, make a long story short, we wrote this proposal. I remember the National Endowment of the Arts representative came to Chicago. It was during the winter months and it was snowing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, we looked at each other, we called and said, I don't know, are we going to do this? And of course, we had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we met with the representative, and then we got the grant. It was a 2 year grant, and we were actually the first to have a festival on the south side of Chicago and the first to have it at the South Shore Country Club.
When I was a little kid, and it didn't come back to me until I saw it at your exhibit. My sister used to have your Carson Peary Scott and Company bag, and she didn't have just one of those bags. She had a few of them, and because she shopped like crazy back in the day, she used to work at Sears as well. I did not know until this past April 6th that was your work on that bag. I heard you say that was the bag that always got stolen from Carson's.
Yeah, well, that's a every question you have has a long story behind it, and this particular one is that I approached Carson with an idea, and the idea was the Paige line. So what I did, I printed up yards and yards of fabric and fabricated them into kind of home fashions I thought that they may be interested in. And I'm in this room, and this would make it really in this room, and it was a small room. There must have been, I don't know, 6 or 7 buyers, and they looked at it and then they were just running their mouths and talking. I said, "Oh, this is not going to fare well for me." And so I got up, and when I looked down the hall, I saw this gentleman coming, and he had this beautiful 3 piece pinstripe suit. And no, it was from Brooks Brothers. It was or tailored piece and this tortoiseshell glasses. I said, "This is my cat."
Right.
So then he looked at the stuff. He said, "Well, Mr. Page, we can't do that, but as an introduction, we would like you to design the bag." And so that bag sold more and they stole more than in the history of that bag.
That is why I remember
And
that
that was
bag.
like 1967.
I remember that bag very well being in my house when I was a little boy. I remember it. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh wow, that's the bag."
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to be in a bunch of rooms that black men, and particularly black artists, weren't exactly flourishing in um, during that time. Your contemporaries were people like Richard Hunt, um, Dr. Adams, people of that nature. When you look at this scene today, and that the scene that you are very much still a part of, not just kind of either. Um, who are some of the folks that you look at and look at their work and say, okay, I can see this is an evolution and it's going to be continuance as well.
Some of the people,
Yes.
yeah, well, of course, we lost our dear friend, I call him Mr. Richard Hunt,
Mm-hmm.
was around at the time, but at the time, all back to the Black Arts Movement. I mean, Jeff Donaldson was around, all the Wadsworths, Gerald were around, you know, Catan, Calvin Jones, if that name means anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go to all their walls, and sit and actually bring a jug. I'd bring a jug and sit with them, and let them do what they do while I clown. But
Yeah.
as I said earlier, when you start talking about this movement, it was just a wonderful time because we didn't have to go north for anything at that time. You had McKees, you had the Sutherland, I mean, like I said, the South Side was on fire.
Yeah.
The camaraderie, amongst all the cats. Everybody had a box, everybody had a camera. So Bobby Sinstack, of course, Bob Crawford and Daryl Carherd, all these cats, we were thick as thieves.
Yeah. What's your word to people today? I know you do it. I know you speak through your art, but if you could speak, which you can right now, directly to the people, what is your message for our Chicago in 2024?
Well, I've come to the realization, when they talk about, appropriations and they talk about, Picasso and Brock, taking art from African sculpture and all that. I'm of the opinion and would like the folks to know that the African aesthetic is one of the strong aesthetics on the scene. And if you would Google it, you'd find it talks about beauty and morality, beauty for the eyes and morality, something for the soul. And so the idea now for me is to continue pushing that aesthetic.
Um, and I know you. I can't keep you as long as I want, but I have one more question I want to ask. I know that this isn't the end in terms of you being an artist, and this exhibit is just a small portion of all the art that you have created. What is in the future for Robert Page?
The future is part of my exhibition here. On the outside, that common wall on the outside, there is a group of artists and they're called the Parapluie. Parapluie is French for umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
and what that is a peer to peer. A couple of the artists in that exhibition are young aspiring artists that want to get to where we are, where we think we are in our careers. So I'm interested right now is in a touch one, teach one. I'm very interested, really based on the fact that when I was in South Africa, I was at a foundation, Indabella Foundation. Indabella are the women that paint on the exterior of their homes. And there were kids that would walk miles to get to this foundation. And they started painting on paper, then they graduated to painting on objects. And I'm very interested in establishing that kind of peer to peer, where we transfer and train or have apprentices. So we're not doing all the work. We are able to sort of conceptualize the ideas of what we're trying to put on the market because I'm very interested in the marketplace. That's why the Sears collection was so important. It established in my mind and in the community that there was no freedom of choice at the marketplace.
Real quick, the experience of working for Sears, um, how did that change you as an artist?
How did that change?
Or if it changed you at all as an artist?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that
I'm sorry,
question?
I was asking, how did the experience of working for Sears? Sears was number one at that time
Okay.
in like every aspect. If you had to buy anything, you went to Sears to get it, and you were in charge of that art department. What was that like for you? How did that affect you as an artist?
It opened my eyes to a number of things. And I had a conversation the other day about that in particular. And to your point, it just opened up the door to the fact that, if you have talent and you're persistent, then there's a possibility that things will happen for you. But it has to go along with, I guess, my 5 C's, which is courage, consistency, confidence, curiosity equals creativity. And so Sears in the relationship let me know if you're just persistent, then things can happen. But then I had an opportunity, of course, to do things in Milano, Italy, which gave me a little more confidence. It's all about confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about if any artist is listening to me talk about what I've done, the thing that they must do is spend as much time out meeting people as they do doing their work. Because nobody's knocking on doors to find out if you're in there.
The exhibit is fascinating, man. It is. It has been. I'm coming back because I want to be able to really absorb it, um, in the not media part of my life and really be able to take in what I saw. I think if you're of any kind of interest in art, if you have any interest in art at all, you got to make it your business to see this. Thankfully, and this is, I don't know if this is normal. The exhibit runs all the way until October 27th. This is like, it's going to be there for a minute. So you get a chance to see
Oh
it.
yeah, it was a worthy effort putting it together, and I can't thank the crew, all of them, that helped put it together. And the idea behind it from my standpoint, I I've done all the work, but I'm still trying to add things to it. The
Mm.
curator says, "Hold your horses, Robert." Oh, but creativity has no limit or no time. But the length of time that it's up will give everyone an opportunity to come and see it, and just appreciate it because I'm in pursuit of beauty. I'm trying to turn ugliness into beauty.
Come and see the art. Come and see you as well. And I'm telling you, many years ago, Brother Page, I had a chance to interview Max Roach. Max,
Oh, and what, Max?
yeah. And I came to the interview with a suit on. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget it. I had my suit on, man. I was in there because I'm like, this is Max Roach. And every picture I had ever seen in my life of Max, he was always dressed to the nines. You said something, and he also that day happened to not have on a suit. He had on a turtleneck, but that's another story. He even asked, "Why do you have on a suit?" But you said something that day that stood with me, on April 6th, the beginning of this exhibit, when talking about how you dress. You said, I want to make sure if I go, I want to look nice. I don't want to just be looking. I want to make sure I look nice. And as always, man, you are dressed to the nines. And I cannot thank you enough for being on this show and hanging out with me. The United Colors of Robert Earl Page is at the Hyde Park Art Center now until October 27th, 2024. More information about the Hyde Park Art Center is available at hydeparkartcenter.com. I do believe I have that right. .com? Yes. And make it your business to stop by and check out the exhibit and get a chance to talk to the artist, Robert Earl Page. Thank you so much, sir, for being on my show today.
Yeah, one point about when you mentioned Max.
Yes, sir.
Max, there are two people, Sonny Rollins, Nook Rollins, and Max wrote, people always thought I looked like Max. And when Max was playing at McKee's, Abby Lincoln, his wife, was with him, and I was going up to introduce myself, and she said, if I hadn't seen him on stage, I thought he was coming up the stairs. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, my friend, and let me know when you're coming this way. I may come and hang out with you.
Yes, sir. That's a deal. That's happening. That's absolutely happening. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on the show, and best of luck with the exhibit. Well, I don't have to tell you that the exhibit is happening. It's a really fascinating thing, and it's a beginning to end. It's beautiful. The pieces are all wonderful. Those videos are very poignant, and if you get a chance to meet the artist, folks, you will understand why. Robert O. Paige is a real deal. That's the cat that's happening. Thanks for being on the show, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Bet. All right, babe.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
And also thanks to the Hyde Park Art Center and to Sophia for making sure that this happened today. And we appreciate the Hyde Park Art Center. That's my spot on the low when I'm in the neighborhood. It's literally 50 steps from my house. When we come back, we've got more music. We are going to, yeah, man, we're just going to play music. And I'm mad behind, and I apologize. This is WLPN LP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. Thank you, Mr. Page. 1, 2, 1,
2. Check it. What's the word? Huh? Yeah, huh? Woo. Turn on the radio. On Saturdays from 12 to 2, y'all already know. What I mean is, your little team gets back to work on another season with anti-fascist reason. And the glow. What's up?
Tune into what's up, come on, hop on. If you know what's up, we on fire with the melodies. Music is my remedy, we on top of rarity.
The facts we be spitting, the beats we be bumping. Dumb LP, it's that lumping.
105.5 FM.
Chicago, YOLO Cali.
Your news, Chicago.
Your news and interest, Chicago.
All news is good and
Chicago's
interest.
local panopticon.
At AWCY FM, we report the headlines you missed,
the interest that you didn't know that you had,
and the thoughtful commentary you're ready for.
Join
Pam Smedley,
our sponsors,
and true local Chicagoans just like you
as they report the good news, because all news is good news, Chicago.
Saturday, 8 to 9 p.m. on WLPN LP 105.5 FM,
Lumpin' Radio.
Buddy gives artists and small manufacturers in Chicago a place to showcase and sell their goods and artworks. Buddy retails to a vast audience of Chicagoans and visitors at the Chicago Cultural Center. Buddy is a shop as local as it gets. Buddy is part of the nonprofit Public Media Institute. Visit hi-buddy.org for more information. You are listening to Lumpin' Radio, supported by Mars Community Brewing, maker of the Mars Elixirs. Mars Elixirs are infused with Midwestern hemp. Mars Elixirs are available throughout Chicagoland. More information is available at drinkmars.com. That's drink, MARZ.com.
WOPNLP Chicago. Lumpin' Radio. I could have talked over the whole intro. I don't want to do that. Kurt Elling.
April in Paris, chestnuts in blossom, holiday tables under the trees, evening melodies, April in Paris. This is a feeling
WLPNLP, Chicago, 105.5 FM, Lumpy Radio. Hey, all the way to the end. That's my buddy Kurt Elling, man. April in Paris. It's almost the top of the hour. What a nice dude, Robert Earl Paige, man. That was dope. I appreciate that a lot, like a whole lot. Yeah, Hyde Park Arts Center, man. The United Codes of Robert Earl Paige. It's the sure shot for real. Here's my other buddy. It's my main source. Yes, sir. WLPNLP Chicago, 105.5 FM, Lumpy Radio. This is news from the service entrance, the radio show.
We fight every night, now that's not kosher. I reminisce with bliss of when we was closer and wake up to be greeted by an argument again. You act like a 10, so immature. I try to concentrate on the cure and keep looking at the front door. Thinking if I were to evacuate, you'd probably be straighter than straight and wouldn't have so much hate. Cause you don't know the pain I feel when I see you smiling. And when I roll up, you start wilding. So I front like everything's hunky-dory. But it's a whole different story. You don't like the fact that I'm me. I don't put on a show when it comes time for you to have company. And your friends don't understand your choice of man. They speak proper while my speech is from a garbage can. But regardless, you shouldn't have to be so raw. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door. Baby, I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door. And when you're with your friends, I glide to the side until the spotlight is mine and never sabotage a good time. But when they're not around, the fights commence. I'm the one you're against, and it doesn't make sense. Cause I'm the one that you claim to love for life. But all I get is gray hairs and strife. And I can play some old stuck-up rapper role and get foul every time you lose control. But that's not my order of operations. So I should win an award for lots of patience. Cause that's all a fella can have with a girl who's shooting up his world like Shaft. And I don't think that I can take it anymore. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door.
1,500 hours.
Always tell me how I'm lucky to possess the best looking girl in the whole U.S. But every time you scream, you blow your finesse, trying to diss the professor. Or 24 hours of acting sore. Sometimes I wish you'd come down with lockjaw, so I don't have to take in the breaking. You treat me like a burnt piece of bacon. It seems like just 2 years back when we were bonded and not pierced. But now I keep itching the jet, sitting in a chair just to stare, set to sprint. Yo, sweetheart, you better take a hint. I say it now like I said it before. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door. I'm looking at the front door.
reveal the mystery of tomorrow, but in passing we'll grow older every day. Just as all that's born is new, do know what I say is true, that I'll be loving you always. Until the rainbow burns the stars in the sky. Always. Until the ocean covers every mountain high. Always. Until the dolphin flies and carries me the sea. Always. Life becomes complete. Did you know that true love asks for nothing? Her acceptance is the way we pay. Did you know that life is giving love a guarantee to last through forever in another day? Just as time knew to move on since the beginning, and the seasons know exactly when to change. Just as kindness knows no shame, know through all your joy and pain, that I'll be loving you always. As the day I know I'm living, but tomorrow could make me the past, but that I mustn't fear. For I'll know deep in my mind the love of me I left behind, 'cause I'll be loving you always. Until the day is night and night becomes a day. Always. Until the trees and seas just up and fly away. Always. Until the day that each times eight is four. Always. Until the day that is the day that I know more. Did you know you loved by somebody? I'll be loving you forever. Always.
We all know sometimes life's hands in trouble can make you wish you were born in another time and space. But you can bet your lifetime's seven twice its double, that God knew exactly where He wanted you to be placed. So make sure when you say you're in it but not of it, you're not helping till it gets to the place sometimes called hell. Change your words into truth and then change that truth into love. And maybe our children, grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren will tell. I'll be loving you until the rainbow burns the mountain sky. Loving you until the ocean covers every mountain high. Loving you until the dolphin flies in Paris, live and see. Loving you until we dream of life and life becomes a dream. And loving you until the day is night and night becomes the day. Loving you
Vistaprint?
WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. Marvin Gaye. Got to give it up. The whole John, son. Yeah, man. It's 20 minutes after the hour. You can listen to a rebroadcast of this show and our interview with Robert Earl Paige on Tuesday beginning at 10 a.m. It's a 1-hour show. It sounds better than this. It's condensed, it's edited, it's clean, no mistakes. It's awesome. And you can hear it Tuesdays. Also, don't forget about the Mutual Aid Report, the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. There's a lot going on around here in Lumpin' Radio. Glad that you're here for it. It's special. You know what I mean? It's a special time. And you know it's special when you hear this. This is how you know. Oh, that's special. Yeah. Special. You know what I'm saying? Not every place does special stuff. Trying to shut down special. Yeah, man. Doing them folks over there dirty. I'm probably a man on the island when it comes to what's happening at Vocalo, but I can say it, man. They're doing them dirty. That's dirty. That's just dirty. But you know, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? Ain't got to be a pilot to know that. Well, that's wrong. I was just about to try to quote James Brown, and that would have came out all the way wrong. Who's got time for that when I'm going to reintroduce something to you that you haven't heard in a while?
Hey!
Oh!
What's the weather for the weekend?
Oh, a lot.
Will it be hot?
No.
Cold? Rain? Snow?
No. So it's not going to snow and it's not going to rain, but it's going to be in the 50s this weekend. But it will be sunny. That'll be nice. Lows in the 30s? What?
Your weekends are great in Chicago.
Doo-doo.
With wonderful
This is always tricky. PNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. Yeah, right now in Chicago, it's brisk, to say the least. Pardon. In the city, looking at a high today of 57. We're at our high right now, 57 degrees. A low tonight of 48. There will be rain, and it will be with us until around midnight. It'll be beginning about 8 o'clock. It's actually going to rain a little bit sooner than that, but it will rain in earnest beginning around 8 p.m. Tomorrow, Friday, sunny, a high of 58 degrees. Why? It is April. Saturday and Sunday, those are the days you care about. Sunny and a high of 50 on Saturday, 58 on Sunday, 37 for the low, both days. And Monday it warms back up to 64 degrees, but then it gets cold all over again. Right now around town in HP, Hyde Park, it's 56 degrees at Guaranteed Rate Field, home of the 3 and 12. What is it? Whatever. White Sox. Who cares? 57 degrees. In South Shore, it's 56. In Wrigleyville, it's 56. In the western suburbs, Elgin to be specific, it is going to move. It's 59 degrees. It's 60 in Beverly. Here in Bridgeport, it is 58. 58 on the west side as well. And again, the temperature in Chicago, Illinois, 58 stunning degrees. It's lovely outside. I was late on the break, and we're going to take the break early, I think. Your boy is not feeling well, and I got one more thing I got to do today. Intonations Gala. What? Anyway, it's tonight. And I'm going to be there, and the kids are going to play, and it's going to be singing songs and all that. I've got some weird thing happening with my back, man. I cannot identify what it is. It is not normal. I feel horrible. But here I am, and I hope that you know what it is? I have to go to the doctor, I think. I don't think I have to go. I know I have to go. And I'm just very reluctant to do that. And I shouldn't be, because it could be something that can be easily fixed. But I'm telling you, I have a real strong, when it comes to doctors. But I may have to, because this isn't cool. And the feeling that I'm feeling is I'm feeling nauseated. But it's not going to stop me from getting this show done for you, because this is really about you at this point. It's not about me anymore. It's about you. We come back. We will have the James Brown song of the day. Whew. There you go. That's a way to spruce things up. And more music and stuff. It's been a good one today so far. I'm hoping to keep that spirit going. This is WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio, and we'll be back right after these words.
Oli, welcome to Radio Muévelo, a musical journey that transcends borders and unites cultures.
With hosts Janicita and Violeta. Join us on the first Sunday of every month from 12 to 2 p.m. as we uncover hidden Latin American gems and discover new sounds.
From Club Latino to reggaeton,
house to rock en español,
and Latin R&B, we've got it all covered.
We'll also have exclusive interviews with industry insiders and creatives who are shaping the music scene. You'll get an inside look into their journeys, inspirations, stories,
y a veces chismecitos.
Radio Muévelo.
Tune into Lumpin' Radio Tuesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. for Bel Air Presents with DJ Todd Carter. A variety of rare and familiar studio and live tracks featuring special guests. Soul, rock and roll, world, noise, hip-hop, house, techno, jazz. Music from Chicago and beyond.
Lumpin' Radio is part of the Buddy System. The Buddy System is an ecosystem of businesses, nonprofits, publications, products, and people working towards a community-driven future. For more information, visit the-buddy-system.com.
I was just hanging out with the Trekkers a little while ago. WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio, news from the Service Entrance Radio Show. Before we have the James Brown song of the day, I'm going to play that song I was talking about with Robert Earl Paige. This is Ramsey Lewis from the album Another Voyage. It's called Uhuru. It's news from the Service Entrance Radio Show. WLPNLP Chicago, yeah. Ramsey Lewis. That's Maurice White playing the kalimba, and I'm pretty sure he's playing drums on that song too. Ramsey Lewis, Ashe. Missed that brother already. I mean, missed him the day he was gone, but yeah, Ramsey. All right, James Brown song of the day. I'm pushing through, yo. What it is what it is. You dig? It's mind power. That's it. News from the Service Interest, the radio show.
You know, we're dealing with a very critical and crucial time. Most crucial and critical time that I've ever witnessed. Being as young as I am, you know. We all don't want to say nothing else, so we say as young as we are. Now I want to talk about the pronunciation and the realization. Now, the educators, they call it ESP, positive thinking, right? Some of the people on the cross other side of the pond call it vibrations, astrology, and all those different things, you understand? But I call what it is what it is. What it is what it is. Look at him. Now you see, brother, you take in the ghetto, you find a whole lot of crime. I can understand, hey, I know what it means. Being 9 years old before I got my first pair of underwear out of a store. You know, putting on a half press suit from the pawn shop with tennis shoes, trying to be hip, so I know where it's coming from. Like the fella say, having catfish head stew. And look like the catfish went in there with his head and come out very quick and didn't leave nothing else. Now, it's one thing the educators and the politicians and the establishment gotta remember. Now, brothers need jobs. If you don't work, you can't eat. If you don't work, you can't eat. Get hip to yourself, good God, my brother, and get it from the street. If you don't work, you can't eat. Sis, you don't work, Lord, you can't eat. So you got to have mind power to deal with starvation. And that's what we're dealing with. You see, we can't go back to the biblical stories. 2 loaves of bread, or 2 little fishes, 5 loaves of bread. 2 little fishes, yeah, and 5 loaves of bread. Now look here, too many brothers to go by that. Now I want your brothers to dig where we're coming from. Set your mind right here. Dig the JBE experience. I dug this from a young man out of New York. He said the GBE, now we want to take it to the JBE, the JB experience. And Fred, brother, lay it on me, lay it. Mind power. Lay it on me. Good God. Ain't it funky? Mind power. Mind power. What it is, what it is. What it is, what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's what it is. It is what it is. That's what it is. Give me some flute. Give me some flute. You know, dealing with Harlem, south side of Chicago, the Bay Area, Watts, 5 Point, Buttermilk Bottom in Atlanta, 9th Street in Augusta, West Broad in Savannah, U Street in Washington, going over to Baltimore, South Street in Philly, Boston. I know somebody need to help us. Just give us a chance. Somebody, brothers across the nation, you gotta get yourself together, unified. We need information. Brothers across the nation, pass on that right on information. Brothers across the nation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Huh. All right. Ain't it funky now? That love power, funky robot, that fine power. JB, G experience, JBE. Now back to the, and meanwhile back to the ranch. Let's talk about the things that we deal with each and every day. Now horns, let's tell everybody what it is what it is. 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 You can't change it. Don't try to change it. Deal with it. Don't fool yourself. Look in the mirror. You find you can't fool yourself. You gotta deal with it. What it is. What it is. What it is. Tell me. Deal with it. But wait a minute. Now look here. I believe we should go back to the top. I want to go back to the beginning, because I let your old Morgan play them funky sticks over there. Now we'll build it up a little bit, now we'll tell them what it is and what it is. 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 Give me some horns. What it is and what it is. What it is and what it is. me a taste, Jimmy. Give me a taste. Hit me. I want to go way back there. To the top. Way back there. Right now.
WLPNOP Chicago, 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. News from the service entrance, the radio show. The James Brown song of the day, Mind Power. You understand? The JBE. James was talking his stuff, boy. He was talking his stuff. I love it. We had my man Quasi on earlier talking about CeaseFire. When you see it, you'll know it. It is the initiative to get everybody to chill the you-know-what out. Not just Memorial Day weekend, but every weekend, every day. Everybody be cool. Have to change the narrative of this place. This can't be known for what it's being known for. It's not going to work. It's just not. Here's KRS-One, news from the Service Entrance Radio Show.
Worldwide, BDP are the freshest. Worldwide, 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 worldwide. 1, 2, 3, the crew is called BDP. And if you wanna go to the tip top, stop the violence in hip hop. Why-oh? Time again, as I pick up the pen, as my thoughts emerge, these are those words. I glance at the paper to know what's going on. Someone's doing wrong, the story goes on. Mary Lou just had a baby, someone else decapitated. The drama of the world shouldn't keep us so frustrated. I look, but it doesn't coincide with my books. Social studies will not speak upon political crooks. It's just the presidents and all the money they spend, all the things they invent, and how the house is so immaculate. They create missiles while families eat gristle. Then they get upset when the press blows the whistle. Phone calls are made, profiles are kept low. You tamper with some jobs, not a press's control. Not only newspapers, but every single station. You only get to hear the president is on vacation. But stay calm, there's no need for alarm. You say goodbye to your mom and you're off to Vietnam. You shoot the kill, come back and you're a veteran. But how many veterans are out there peddling? There's no telling, cause they continue selling. As quiet as it's kept, I won't go into depth. You could talk about Nigeria, people used to laugh at you. Now I take a look, I see USA for Africa. What's the solution to stop all this confusion? Rewrite the Constitution, change the drug in which you're using. Rewrite the Constitution of the Emancipation Proclamation. We fight inflation, yet the president's still on vacation. BDP posse. I say 1, 2, 3. The crew is called BDP. And if you wanna go to the tip top, stop the violence in hip hop. Why-oh? This might sound a little strange to you. Well, here's the reason I came to you. We gotta put our heads together and stop the violence. Cause real bad boys move in silence. When you're in a club, you come to chill out, not watch someone's blood just spill out. That's what these other people want to see. Another race fight endlessly. You know it being watched, you know it being seen. Some wish to destroy this scene called hip-hop, but I won't drop. Not I or Scott LaRock. Well, here is the message that we bring today. Hip-hop will surely decay if we as a people don't stand up and say, stop the violence! 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 I say 1, 2, 3. The crew is called BDP. And if you wanna go to the tip called BDP. And if you wanna go to the tip top, stop the violence in hip hop. Why-oh?
This is the last dance for today. Not forever, just for today. Calm down.
This thing called life. Now what's the meaning of the line? Tell me. Well, it's like dreaming of your goals, ambitions. I'm feeling free. I'm on this mission to achieve. Achieve what? What's in your mind's eye? This is what you believe you should gain. Satisfaction become a shining example. A test as a sample of a new race. It has ample supply, positivity. You mean flow? Well, like electricity. So you see a clear way with no ambiguity, don't you know? Don't be afraid to experiment, you know. Go ahead, you know, and implement your ideas, your notions. Put them in motion like the words we funky dreads have spoken to you. So listen up loud and clear. This is a word you must be aware of. What you gonna do, put it in your life too. Now that's the meaning of the line. Work it out for yourself. Yeah, be selective, be objective, be an asset to the collective. 'Cause you know you gotta get a life.
Soul to Soul, WLPNOP Shabbat Bam. WLPNOP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. Soul to Soul. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we did it. It's a done deal now. See, we did the weather. Yeah. Did that. We played that. Had the interviews. It's a little too early to leave. I'm just going to hang here. I wonder what. I'm not going to do it. I can't get myself in trouble. That would be dumb. Oh, I do have something to tell you. This is, if I was told this is true, I'm going with it's true. I have to, even though I was told it was true, let me back up. Even though I was told this is true, I have to wait until I am 100% convinced that it's true, if you follow. All right, hey, you, look at me. I have something to tell you that made me laugh for a good half hour last night. I get a phone call, and we're talking, and everything is, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We're talking. And my friend starts naming me, or starts saying the names of people who I know who do things in Hyde Park. And she's like, do you know so-and-so, and do you know such and such? And I'm like, yeah, that's my man, that's my lady, and I know them, they cool people, yeah. And I blurted out, what? Are you trying to get me to be the Grand Marshal for the 4th on 53rd parade? There's a parade on the 4th of July in Hyde Park. And she said, that's exactly why I'm calling. Huh? I'm the Grand Marshal of the 4th of July parade. You know what I mean? Who? Clearly, I have not been loud enough about how much I think the 4th of July is. Anyway. And so I was asked if I would be the Grand Marshal for the parade. And I was like, yeah, of course. There's no kids. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking. I'm just like, yes, I'll do it. And I'm like, do I have to wave a flag? And it's, no. I'm like, okay. And she goes, you sit in a convertible and you wave. And that's one thing. The idea that people are seeing me in that kind of light is really cool. I can't act like it's not cool. It's weird. So I think I have to consult a couple of people. But I think my goal in something like that is to be as nondescript as possible, do the wave, blah, 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 and end up like, at the Cove or something afterwards. Or come back up here, go to Moe's. I don't want to. I can't do the James Brown, Apollo Creed, John. I can't do that, son. No. Might have on a Public Enemy shirt. Probably will have on a Public Enemy shirt. Because that's who I am. But the Grand Marshal of a parade, me. The hits keep on coming, man. Who knew that was going to happen? I got another announcement to make, but I can't make it yet until maybe in another week or two. But it's a good one. But yeah, so if you and on July 4th come to Hyde Park and see me at the 4th on 53rd parade as the Grand Marshal. Just a brother from Woodlawn trying to make it out here in this big old world, in this big giant city of Chicago, Illinois. Who knew? If my mother was alive, she would be like, boy, stop playing. You are kidding. The Grand Marshal of a parade, that is absurd. That's absurd. Oh, that is so ridiculously absurd to me. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Oh, I suppose we are moving up if I'm the Grand Marshal. Oh man, if you knew where I've been, boy. Shoot. Oh. Oh man, all right. Whew. Yeah, buddy. Oh man, I want to thank our guest Kwesi for being on the show today. CeaseFire, it's going to be all over social media. You'll see it. And also want to thank, very, very special thanks to the incredible Robert Earl Paige. His exhibit is at the Hyde Park Arts Center, the United Colors of Robert Paige. Check it out, everybody. I hope you have a great, great weekend. About to head to the crib to get prepared for the Intonation Music Gala. And please consider making a donation at Intonation Music, intonationmusic.org. And thank you to everybody over at Mars Brewing for looking out for me today. Had to say goodbye to Lenny. And they're working on a new name for the new machine. But bye, Lenny. Lenny was great. Lenny was a love machine. And he don't work for nobody but you. Have a great weekend. Nemec, Stephanie, Charlie, Jamie, thanks so much for the opportunity. I'll see all of you all soon. Peace, power, and progress. Watch out for the blue light. For real. Later. This is WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin' Radio. 3 whole minutes of DJ Dash. Do I know this song? Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do. Have a great weekend, y'all. Later.